Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You've got your favorite broskies here, guys, from Cleveland, Ohio, representing the 216. We are back with another YouTube beautiful dividend investing video about a dividend king. And is this stock undervalued and ripe to buy, or are you just sitting on the sidelines?
Smash that subscribe button. Everyone get this video. Good old fashioned thumbs up. Let's
Oh,
holler at your boys,
no.
the diplomats. The question we're going to be asking ourselves are we always going to be ABB this stock? Are we always going to be buying this top five foundation
Ooh,
stock?
it is a top five. Good call there, Bert.
Yeah.
Nice job,
So
Robert.
remember, everyone, I'll tell you four of the top five foundation stocks that aren't included in there. We have these five: McDonald's, Johnson and Johnson, Consolidated Edison, Pepsi, and then we have the stock we're going to be talking about today.
Guys, we are talking about none other than Procter and Gamble, the dividend king, guys. When you think of Procter and Gamble, think about all those brands that you have in your house. I mean, the list just goes on and on. The Charmin, the Bounty, the
Mhm.
Dawn, the Gain, Gillette, Tide, Crest, Pampers, you name it, Pantene, the list goes on and on. Why? Because they have five business segments that generate over $1 billion
Yeah.
dollars in revenue: beauty, baby, fabric, healthcare, and grooming, guys.
They're that rare company that just dominates every sector they are in. These aren't, they don't half-ass going into a market. They don't half-ass a brand. They full exit. They go, they say, we're going to go all the way. We're going to go ham and we're going to own it. And that's why I love this company so much.
And secretly, Procter and Gamble, I think, guys, something for everybody to think about here, because there's a lot of investors out there that own PG stock.
Mhm.
They're sitting on a lot of spin-off gold mines. They could spin off, the healthcare.
Yeah,
They could spin off grooming.
they could.
They could spin off beauty.
Why
You
not?
know, so
Yeah.
again, if they ever wanted to just get, more synergistic, maybe look at which one is you know, the biggest dog, which apparently they're not because they've held on for so long. But I feel like there's a gold mine in spinoffs under their, I call it their war chest, in
Yeah.
case they ever wanted to team up with something or somebody.
I'm just looking at this picture on my second monitor here of all their brands, and it's even funny, like the Iams pet food on here, Duracell, Braun, and like, hey, God, they just have so many great brands. Like those are small ones, but those are some of the best in the sectors that they're in.
And guys, we are filming this disclaimer on July 27th, guys. So we do have this set to come out on July 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And earnings has already been released by the time you're watching this, I believe on July 29th. So we don't have that Q4 data that is already out there by the time this video hits the live.
But you know what? Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, it doesn't matter because Procter and Gamble is such a great company. It's worth talking about, and it's even worth covering what happened in those Q3 sales, Lanny.
Oh, it is,
Because
guys. It is.
yeah,
Q3 sales. They were slightly down like 2%, but organic sales, because once you take out the currency and all that stuff, we were up 1%. So organic sales up 1%.
yeah.
Um, again, we already talked about all five business segments that are major that produce over $1 billion in sales. Again, the benefit of owning something like a PG, it's like a McDonald's, it's like a Pepsi, it's like a Coke, it's a J&J. They could pass on usually inflation cost right to the consumer, which, again, we didn't really see it though here with sales being kind of flat to slightly up. So maybe we'll see what happens here in that last quarter here for
Yeah.
PG.
And I think that's going to be the most interesting thing that's going to come out, not just in the earnings, but also what they're going to talk about with the guidance going forward and what they're talking about the outlook for their broader economies. They're going to have a pretty good look at the ground level with the consumer of what's really happening. And they can provide some insight on, is the consumer breaking or are they still spending on these products?
Yep. And well, again, I'm trying to see if this is a good time to buy this stock because they're down Their 52-week high was around the 180-ish mark, and they're at
Okay.
158. So they're down about $22 from that 52-week high. So it's time to see if this is a stock to buy, guys. It's time to run them through the DD stock screener, focused on the three metrics: PE ratio, payout ratio, dividend growth. We'll look at the yield. So Bert, the PE ratio for PG, trade at 158.30, expectations of 678 in earnings at 23, slightly on the high side price to earnings ratio.
Yeah, their dividend is $4.23. That's a payout ratio of 62%, which is in line with what they always typically have.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's their 5-year growth rate?
Well, they've been doing it, at a better clip as of late, surprisingly. They in the past, everybody used to look at them as like a 3 to 5 percenter, but they've actually gone up between 5 to 10% as of late. So that's actually calmed down and averaged out to about a 6.73% 5-year dividend growth rate. And Bert, how many years has this son of a gun been doing it for?
Not one, not two, not three, but 68 years. They are one of the longest dividend kings on this list. They are dominating that dividend kings list. That's what
Oof,
we're
what's it
talking
gonna
about
do,
Procter
brother?
and Gamble. Yeah, the bigger question is, Lanny, what is that yield? How is that yield looking?
It is at 2.67%.
Okay.
So it definitely achieves the dividend growth rate factor I'm looking for at over 6%. The
Yeah.
yield slightly less, but overall still gets you over that 9% plus compound factor, almost. Again, almost 9.5% compound factor there.
All right, so we'll put it up here, but the PE is 23, payout 62, mid to high single digit 5-year growth rate. They're dividend king with a mid to high 2.6% dividend yield. Okay, not the cheapest stock, but what are you thinking, Lanny, from an overall buying standpoint?
I don't like them at 158 personally. I think they're a little too expensive. And again, if they started dropping into the low to mid 140s, I think I'm there because it gives you a right around a 21p ratio
Yeah,
with closer to a 3% yield.
I would agree. I think getting it down there, that would be a great time to buy Procter and Gamble. I was laughing because I was going to ask you what price you liked them in a really smart assy kind of way, but I decided not to.
I like them at $18 a share. Well,
Yeah.
what about you guys? What do you guys think of Procter and Gamble stock? Is this a stock to buy right now? Too expensive? Price just right? What are you trying to do with this stock?
All right, everyone, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Remember, you're either with us or you're against us, Jack.
That was Bert the Herd and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats, over and out.